question. You know, my whole career as an astronaut has been building the space station, living and working on the space station. So I actually really love this place. However, it's an instrument to get us further into explorations. We've learned a lot while being up here and doing science experiments. So when its time's come, that will be the time to decommission it and to set us off on the next foot to go back to the moon and on to Mars. Over. You know, this is a great question. On the microbiology position, I'm not exactly sure, but I will just tell you from my own experience, if you get a cut up here, it seems like it takes a little longer to heal. Obviously, then, our bodies are used to gravity. So it's an interesting question, and I know that they're doing some research, so I'll have to get some more information to get back to you on it, but I know it takes a little bit longer just to heal on the skin up here. Over. If we kept our days by the sunrise and sunset, it would be pretty confusing. So we keep our time in Greenwich Mean Time and just keep a normal day. So we work about or are awake about 16 hours and sleep about 8 hours. So we're in the beginning of our day right now. Over. Yes, it's a really interesting question. We try to sort of hook up with the news like once a day or in the morning or in the evening twice a day just to get caught up, but on the hour-by-hour basis, which we have on Earth, we don't do that. It's a little bit, you feel a little disjointed, that's for sure. For example, the big hurricane that just hit Florida in the United States, feeling a little helpless up here as we could see it approaching. But that's I guess how it goes, and hopefully we'll have some positive influence. Over. I think your question was about free time in space. If that was the question, if it wasn't, I'm sorry, but let me answer that one real quick. So yes, we do have free time after we work in space. Up here, and I write a journal. A lot of us take pictures. There's some amazing aurora right now, so we try to see when the auroras, take a quick break and run over to the cupola and take some great pictures. Over. Yeah, so I think I was just answering that question, and I think I missed the last question. I apologize. There was somebody else who came on the radio. But yeah, I think journaling and taking pictures and doing scientific projects up here is what a lot of people like to do in their free time. Over. That's another interesting question. Yeah, we work out probably about 2 hours a day to maintain the bone density and the muscle mass with a resistive exercise device, a treadmill, and a bike. So we do a little of everything, a little of both of those activities, aerobic and anaerobic, every day. It's a lot of time. So if there were some other ways that we could maintain our bone density and muscle mass on our long trips to Mars, that would be something that people need to look into and figure out. Over. There's always a threat of that happening, but right now we're working hand in hand with our Russian partners on this International Space Station, doing science experiments up here, sharing information, and it's been really good. And I think it is a role model for the rest of the Earth. If we're going to do things that are bigger than ourselves, we need to work together. Over. I think the strangest and most frustrating, maybe, sensation is losing things. You're just so used to putting things down on Earth, and it would be sitting on a table, fall on the floor or something. Here, you just let something go for a moment, and then it's lost because of air currents or somebody kicking something, and it's a little frustrating at times. Over. I think the most surprising thing that I've been involved in is a capillary flow experiment where we found some different, what they call wicking angles to make fluid move. This has some implications in fuel systems in the future for spacecraft, or actually even how we might grow plants. We're doing a plant experience now, and how the water wicking and feeding the plants might, we're learning about that. Over. That's a great engineering question for how they put this space station together. Every module has cooling loops for all the equipment and for the people, so we keep the temperature around 75 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's very comfortable in here, but that's ammonia loops outside and water cooling loops inside. Great question. You know, water is the key to life, right? So we have water up here. We could split it into hydrogen and oxygen, and so that's how we get the oxygen to air in the air that we breathe. And the water that we get is recycled from our sweat and our urine, as a matter of fact. And we do get some fresh water up as well, but we can clean that water and make it into drinking water. Over. Absolutely. Everybody's birthday, that is when they have a birthday up here, we celebrate those. I've been making cakes for birthdays. It's been a lot of fun. We will celebrate Christmas and New Year's coming up at the end of the year. Over. I absolutely miss my normal life, but I know this is just a moment in time of my whole life, so it's wonderful to be up here. But I do miss my family, of course, and I miss my dogs, because I miss taking my dogs for a walk and feeling wind on my face and rain when it rains. Over. Yeah, you know, it's a closed system, so of course the physical fitness aspect that I talked about earlier is one of the things. So muscle mass, bone density, but also, you know, it's a closed environment, so you could get some type of little rash on your skin if your body's not used to this closed environment. Our immune system is decreased a little bit because we're living in a closed environment, not with a bunch of other people. So those are things that we have to watch out for. Over. It's a great question. We are living here together for a long period of time, but we work together before we fly to do things where we understand each other's triggers or buttons, and we try not to do that. We try to understand and be compassionate for each other and just be straightforward and talk to one another. Over. So this mission was a little different than usual, but most missions it's about 2 years to understand the different modules of the International Space Station and train with all the mission control centers. This mission was a test flight, so for this one it was actually about 5 years to understand that brand new spacecraft and also the space station. Over. Well, you know, I wasn't planning on being an astronaut, but I ended up joining the military, the Navy, and I got an engineering degree at the Naval Academy, and then I got interested in flying airplanes and helicopters, and then